It's not easy to tell what a perfect pickup should look like. While some drivers highly appreciate the latest technological advancements, others prefer simplicity, a straightforward design. For them, the Frontier has always been a natural choice, and now, this no-nonsense pickup comes with a couple of novelties and becomes an even more interesting proposal. Stay with us and check how the all-new 2024 Nissan Frontier wows everybody. Back to the 80s. The biggest novelty for the 2024 model year is certainly the new Hardbody Edition, and if you're old enough to remember the pre-Frontier era, you know very well what this moniker means. It's a pickup that established Nissan as a relevant player in the market of small pickups, and now, the Frontier comes with a full load of styling details that are closely inspired by the old truck. This version of the 2024 Frontier looks pretty much the same as a truck in the photo that was teased a few weeks ago, as well as the Project Hardbody concept that was presented in Chicago last year. There's the same styling approach, and the first thing you'll notice are those retro wheels, which closely mimic the original ones. Among other unique details, there are black over fenders, a sports bar, a unique skid plate, and special decals. But the company also made a few tweaks compared to the concept. For example, the sports bar looks similar, but doesn't feature lighting groups on top of it. Moreover, Nissan decided to change tires, so instead of the initial BF Goodrich all-terrain TAKO2 units, the production version features a slightly less hardcore setup with a hand-cooked Dynapro AT2 all-terrain tires. As for the base design characteristics, this version is based on the SV trim and comes exclusively in a crew cab style and four-wheel drive. The price starts at around $44,000. New SL trim. Next level convenience. The Hardbody Edition isn't the only big novelty for the next year. Nissan decided to bring one more trim level to the offer called the SL. In this case, it's not about unique styling details and things like that. This is a classic comfort-oriented version of the truck with a full load of standard equipment. It sits above the SV trim and brings a full load of standard equipment. First of all the features from the optional SV convenience package are part of the standard equipment. This includes 17-inch wheels, a spray-in bed liner, adjustable bed tie-down cleats, bed under rail lighting, a sliding rear window, and a couple of household-style power outlets. This package also includes lots of convenience features inside the cabin, and they're also standard in the new SL. Some of the highlights are a heated leather-wrapped steering wheel, heated front seats, keyless entry, remote start, dual-zone climate control, etc. Finally, there are a couple of features exclusive to this trim, starting from LED headlights, fog lights, leather upholstery, a sunroof, and a premium 10-speaker Fender audio system. The SL is now the second most expensive version of the Frontier, right after the new Hardbody, with a starting price of around $41,000. Still an honest pickup. Other than these two models, the 2024 Nissan Frontier continues in the same way. Therefore, we can say it remains one of the rare honest pickups on the market. If you look at the recent redesigns of the key players in the segment, such as the Colorado, Ranger, and Tacoma, you can notice the same trend, that all these pickups come with more complex designs, turbocharged engines, and except for the Tacoma, a simplified lineup. In other words, all these pickups are becoming more expensive, which makes the Frontier a natural choice for value-oriented buyers. The Frontier keeps things simple. More precisely, it balances pretty well in the way that it remains reasonably priced, but still decently equipped and advanced enough to keep pace with rivals. What buyers particularly appreciate is that the Frontier still leaves them with a choice of different configurations. While the American pickups now come only in crew cab styles with short beds, the Frontier remains available in the so-called king cab, with 2 doors and a longer 6-foot bed. Also, you can get a more comfortable crew cab which comes standard with a 5-foot bed, but can also be equipped with a longer 6-foot unit, so you can enjoy both comfort and practicality. And besides the 2 new models, the trim level organization remains the same. The offer once again starts with the affordable S trim, which still offers a decent amount of standard equipment. Despite being the most basic version of the truck, it still comes with goodies like smartphone integration, a couple of USB ports, and a few safety features, including forward collision warning and automatic emergency braking. Finally, let's not forget that you get a capable 310 horsepower V6 engine in all variants, including the most basic models. Nissan Frontier Powertrain. Smooth and reliable. As we've just mentioned, most competitors went for a Turbo 4 engine. Of course, they're more efficient, with more torque and higher MPG ratings, but that isn't necessarily things pickup buyers care about. Most of them are conservative and prefer something more straightforward, such as the Frontier's 3.8-liter V6. This naturally aspirated V6 puts out around 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty enough to move this chassis with ease. The new Turbo 4 rivals feature more torque, but that's not necessarily an advantage advantage. They're nowhere near as smooth as this or other V6 engines that remained in this segment. Not to mention that we still don't know how these Turbo 4 engines are about to act under heavy exploitation. This V6, on the other hand, already proved itself as a reliable and durable unit. Also worth mentioning is the 9-speed automatic transmission that comes coupled with this V6. It shifts quickly enough and mostly on time. It feels very smooth and refined. Definitely one of the better gearboxes in the class. Offroad Performance. The Frontier can be a pretty solid off-roader too, especially if you go for the Pro 4X trim. This model comes with a nice set of off-road upgrades, starting from all-terrain tires that come wrapped around unique dark-painted wheels. For better off-road articulation, Nissan installed Bilstein shock absorbers, while there's also a locking rear differential, another must-have thing for every off-road-oriented pickup. To provide better underbody protection, the company also installed a couple of extra skid plates. But the Pro 4X version also comes with a couple of convenience features. Its list of standard equipment also includes an upgraded infotainment system with a bigger 9-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, navigation, Wi-Fi hotspot, surround view camera with additional off-road mode, sliding rear window, and more. From what we can see, the Pro 4X probably isn't as capable as some rival off-roaders such as the Gladiator Rubicon or Colorado ZR2, but the Pro 4X is also significantly cheaper. That's partly because of fewer off-road upgrades, but also because of the Frontier's aforementioned honesty. In most cases, buying an off-road pickup means being conditioned to pay extra for things you don't necessarily need in an off-road vehicle, especially in terms of comfort and convenience. With the Frontier, that's not the case. You get a pretty straightforward off-roader that can be made more convenient, but only if you want to. For example, you can pay extra for the Pro Premium package and enjoy goodies like beadlock wheels, leather upholstery, upgraded interior trim, premium audio system, etc. Towing and payload capacity. Not everything is great about the Frontier. There are many reasons to like Nissan's pickup, but towing isn't one of them, at least when it comes to max capacity. It goes up to 6,720 pounds in models like the King Cab and rear-wheel drive, and while that's not all that bad, it's still far behind the key competitors. For example, American pickups like the Jeep Gladiator and Chevy Colorado can tow up to 7,700 pounds in their most capable variants. However, keep in mind that things largely depend on the way you look at them. Namely, the Frontier's max towing capacity may be low for the class, but what's not bad is that all versions offer similar capabilities. All models can tow between 6,260 and the aforementioned 6,720 pounds. If you look at other pickups, they oscillate way more, and most variants are nowhere near the max capacity. This particularly refers to off-road iterations, which often offer way below 6,000 pounds of max capacity, which is not the case with Nissan's pickup. On the other hand, things are not all that good with hauling. The max payload goes up to a relatively decent 1,600 pounds, but most versions can haul between 1,300 and 1,450 pounds, which is low for the class. Pricing. As mentioned, the 2024 Frontier remains one of the most affordable pickups on the market, especially if we consider the standard V6 engine. The base S trim with King Cab still starts under $30,000, while Crew Cab models start a little bit over $31,000. Four-wheel drive versions are already available at around $33,000, while the aforementioned off-road-oriented Pro 4X would cost you around $40,000. As for the 2024 novelties, the new SV also costs around $40,000, while the Hardbody Edition is nearly $44,000. Of course, the competition remains the same, and while the Tacoma is still way out of reach in terms of sales numbers, the Frontier competes very well against the Ford Ranger, Jeep Gladiator, and Chevy Colorado. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.